Healthy Harrison and the Harrison County Commission are dedicated to transforming the narrative surrounding the opioid epidemic in West Virginia. While our state leads the nation in opioid-related deaths, this does not define us. We are a community rooted in values of family, friendship, and support.
We strive to be strong and healthy for ourselves, our loved ones, and our communities. West Virginia is home to countless inspiring stories of recovery, and our mission is to amplify these stories of resilience and transformation.
The following interview is intended to highlight the strengths and determinations of individuals who have overcome the challenges of addiction. We invite you to share this message with your friends, family, and contacts. Together, we can create a stronger West Virginia, one story at a time.
My name is Nikki Barnard. I live here in Clarksburg. I work for the Public Defender Corporation as a legal assistant, and I also am the women's ministry leader for Celebrate Recovery. I've been in recovery for 6.5 years. I'm here today to spread hope. Well, growing up, I felt really lost. I felt abandoned. I felt like I didn't fit in anywhere, and I felt like I was a burden to everyone that I was around. And my family life wasn't, what you would want to brag about, I guess you could say. I think I had my first drink at 14, but by the age of 15, I was taking water bottles of vodka to school with me just to get by. Life was tough for a 15-year-old that felt lost out in the world. So that alcohol, it gave me confidence. It made me be able to express myself, because that's one thing as a child I didn't know how to do, was express myself. I didn't know how to express the emotions that I was feeling, and I didn't really feel like I had a lot of people that I could talk to about it. And so when you drank, you didn't have to talk. You were just excited. You were having fun. The day after I graduated high school, I hopped on a Greyhound bus and went to Florida, and I got introduced to ecstasy, and we started doing it pretty much every day. Well, anytime we could get our hands on it, we were doing ecstasy. Well, I was in a motorcycle wreck in 2001. A drunk driver hit us head on, and I was prescribed pain medicine. I took them like I was supposed to until I didn't. When I worked for a doctor, but I started writing my own prescriptions for pain medicine, started calling them in. I didn't get caught for a while, but then I did, and that was before the opioid epidemic. So I just got a slap on the wrist and got unsupervised probation. Now, I didn't go to jail that time, but I was put in the back of a police car, and you would have thought that would have scared me straight. It didn't. My addiction was way too bad, and especially when I got a slap on the wrist, I thought, I got away with this. So I continued to use pain pills. I used to take them by mouth, but then I was here in Clarksburg, and a friend of mine was like, "Have you ever snorted one?" And I'm like, "No." So then I tried it, and it was a whole new experience for me. And so then it just kept on and kept on and kept on to where I was eating a lot of pain pills or snorting a lot of pain pills every single day. There was a violent outburst with my mom, and I decided to get off the pain pills, and I started going to Celebrate Recovery. So soon after I started going there, I relapsed, but this time I got introduced to heroin. And before I knew it, I was IV using it. I couldn't get out of bed if I didn't have it. I was sick, throwing up. It was just awful. Withdrawals from heroin is absolutely awful. My oldest daughter was raising my youngest daughter. I love my kids, but my addiction had completely taken a hold of me. If you don't have heroin, you can't get out of bed. You can't shower. You can't eat. You can't function. You mentally, physically, emotionally, you can't function. You have cold chills all over your body, you're sweating, you're cold. It's just miserable. It's completely miserable. And for 8 years, I was an IV heroin user. Well, I had many rock bottoms. So my first rock bottom was my mom and my aunt kicked the door in and caught me with a needle in my arm. My daughters were outside of the bathroom, and they got scared and went to go live with their dad. Then I was evicted from my home, and I became homeless out on the streets of Clarksburg for over a year. So I would kick doors in of abandoned apartments, abandoned houses, or sometimes I would just have to walk the streets, and I would remember that I would have to do a shot of methamphetamine to raise my body temperature up so that I could withstand the cold. So that was my second rock bottom. So May 1st of 2018, I got arrested again My bond was set at $250,000, so I wasn't getting out, and I thought that was how my story was going to end. Jail, prison. I was kind of okay with it because at least I was indoors, at least I was sober. Well, I got sentenced to long-term rehab, and the day before I went to rehab, I had to stand in front of a judge in oranges, was forced to relinquish my rights to my kids. That was my final rock bottom. You know, like I said, you have many stages of rock bottom, but that's where I was done. My aunt went, and she's been going ever since 2012. She said, why don't you start coming back? And man, the family that I got from Celebrate Recovery is more than what I could have ever asked for. I started off as the Addictions Open Share leader, which was so rewarding because I got to sit with a group of women and talk about our day. We can come in and be like, you know what, we're a mess. We're having a mess, or we're triggered, or we're struggling, or I have a fear that I'm going to use. Celebrate Recovery is for everyone. If I can change, anybody can change. No matter what life throws at you, we are strong. We are strong and we can make it out. So I found my crowd that I had been searching for my whole life. And I found the family love that I've been searching for my whole life at Celebrate Recovery.